I want to tell you about a time that I horribly disrespected my mother. Now, I'm not proud of this story, but I think it goes to the mindset of young men, especially in the black community, how we tend to vilify our mothers and make heroes out of our fathers. You see, it was the summer in between my junior and senior year of high school. And at that time, things had begun to click for me. Academically, I was doing okay. Socially, I was doing okay. Had status in the church, making progress there. And I was playing some pretty good football. I started looking really good to everybody that looked at me in every way, shape, or form. Fine, upstanding young man, doing everything he's supposed to do to succeed. Well, during that summer, my father came to my mother and told her, it's time that he have a father around him 100%. You can't train him to be a man, but I can. I want him to come and live with me. And the idea of living with my father was so appealing and so alluring because for my whole life, that's all I wanted was to be around my dad. Discounting the fact that for my whole life, my mom was around for me. I asked her, I said, yes, I want to go live with him. And it broke my mother's heart. I remember her crying. I remember her sitting down on the bed, wringing her hands and pulling her hair and saying, just forget it. Just go. Just go. Just go. She had done all that work to ensure that I made it to the point where I could get out of high school. And just when it got to the point where I could coast and get through my senior year and graduate, I made the decision to pull up and leave. That was disrespectful. That was ungrateful. That was entitled to the point that it broke her heart. As I was sitting in my room trying to get prepared to pack and I was happy and smiling, I'm going to live with my daddy, I could hear her in her room crying. But I heard more than her tears. I heard her disappointment. I heard her heartbreak. I went in and I changed my mind and I said, Mom, I'm sorry. I'll stay here with you. Now, some may say that it was very selfish of her not to allow me to explore that opportunity at that time. But I reject that thinking. You know why? Because it was my mother who took days off work when I was sick to make sure I was healthy enough to continue on living. It was my mother who sat up at night trying to figure out how to teach me how to read because I was a functional illiterate at the time. It was my mother who took me to all of the different therapists and all of the different special ed teachers and all of the different sessions that I would need to find out that I was dyslexic. It was her. She did the footwork. She did all of the work. It was my mother who went to the school and fought because my grades were not good and they were passing me on a social promotion scale. It was my mother. And after all of that work that she did to ensure I make it, the senior year of high school is the year that you start seeing the rewards, reaping the rewards. All of the awards are coming, all of the letters, the scholarships are coming. Now all of a sudden I wanted to pull and leave. And basically let someone else take the credit for all of her hard work. It was horribly disrespectful of me. It was horribly disrespectful of me to think that she would accept that and be okay with it. Well, I stayed. And it was the best decision I could have made at that time in my life. I stayed, I graduated, and Lord knows we celebrated that whole year. And good things just kept happening after that. Going off to college, answering the call of ministry. And now here we are today. And every time I look at my mother and I see her forget things from the past and not be able to remember moments like this, I am thankful that I made that decision because I couldn't live with myself now if I hadn't. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So when we see all of this single mom bashing, this is the stuff I think about.